Good morning and welcome to the Monday Morning Brief for November 24th, 2014. In the world of stamp collecting, some collectors search for the perfect example of a stamp, one with boardwalk margins and perfect centering. But there are plenty of collectors who truly appreciate imperfection. If you've ever seen a large printing operation like that involved in producing postage stamps, you know that it can take a while before something comes off the press looking just right. There's a lot of minute tweaking of the press controls and lots of things can go wrong in the process. Usually that which comes off the press looking less than perfect is spotted and trashed. But sometimes stamps that should have been pulled from the run make it to the post office counter. Whether such stamps have missing colors, missing perforations, or some other detail that went kablooey, these abject failures in the art of printing have often been treated like royalty in the world of stamp collecting. For those intrigued by these three-sleeved shirts of the U.S. stamp scene, the newly released 16th edition of the Scott Catalogue of Errors on U.S. Postage Stamps, edited by Stephen R. Datz, illustrates values and gives quantities known for many of the oddball items so sought after by collectors. This 220-page volume, which can be purchased at www.amisadvantage.com, also explains to the uninitiated the differences between error stamps and those that collectors consider to be merely freaks. One of the items covered in this catalog, the inverted Jenny, Scott C3A, is a printing screw-up of the first magnitude that ended up being perhaps the most well-known U.S. stamp amongst the general public. Indeed, it's striking in appearance and brings high realizations when one is put on the auction block, which is of course how it earned its exalted status. But, as this catalog details, there are plenty of errors just as striking in appearance that are scarcer than the Jenny and yet sell for far less. But this catalog also includes items that collectors on a strict budget can afford. An imperforate pair of the 1981 20-cent flag over the Supreme Court coil, Scott 1895D, has a catalog value of only $8, and there are plenty of items that can be had for less than $50. So, collecting errors doesn't have to be just for those with huge bank accounts. One of the more fascinating things about error collecting is that every so often some new error comes to light after being squirreled away in some collector's album for many years. 2 items from the early 1970s have surfaced, and they've been added to this edition of the catalog. Who knows? Maybe you'll get lucky on your next trip to the post office to buy stamps. For Scott Publishing and Lynn Stamp News, I'm Marty Frankevicz. Enjoy your week in stamps.